Let me tell you something. This is going to be one of those random reflections, but let me tell you something. When you do the work, the internal work, you become absolutely magnetic. And I'm not trying to be woo woo, the woo woo kind of spiritual, new agey kind of law of attraction, magnetic. I mean, just who you become and what the things that you put out in the world, the positivity and the way that you can impact the people around you. Because I had the opportunity to meet somebody today, and if you are somebody who has done, is currently in the process of doing the work, you know what it is to identify that in someone else. Because And then you can also very much identify those who have not done the work. And that's not to pass judgment, because we all are on our own journey and we go through things, and it takes time to be able to get to a place where we start to take ownership for our own healing. But once you do start to take ownership for your own healing and you start to do the work, the internal work, addressing the trauma, addressing the root causes of the anxiety and the depression, the root causes of why you're choosing what the root causes of why you cope and why you're using different things to cope and numb, then your life begins to change and you start to make different decisions. You have different outlooks on life. Hopefully, that makes you a more empathetic person. But it really does, you radiate. You become more radiant, I should say. I got a chance to meet a person today who has been doing their own inner work. And we had a long conversation just about their personal experience, what they've been through over the last several years, anything from medical to, personal family things, and just how they were, wanted to address those things. And so instead of choosing to kind of let life happen to them and staying there, they sought out professional help to be able to process their trauma. And in doing so, it really brought to light some of the things that, even though they went through some really hard times, those hard times produced some incredible skills in relation to other people, like their ability to be able to empathize with other people, their ability to be able to see if somebody's not being included, their ability to be able to see if somebody's being mistreated, or, just being able to say, like, hey, I know I wouldn't want to be treated that way. So let me ensure that I'm doing what I can to make sure that this person is not being treated that way. So just some really great qualities. And what I noticed about this person as I was interacting with them, there was a certain piece about them, their character, their countenance. And because even though they had been through some really hard things, there was still some calmness because it wasn't, they had every reason to carry the significance of what they've been through on their shoulders still. And I think anybody who heard their story would understand them carrying the weight of their circumstance, their previous circumstance. But they were able to talk about it in a way that spoke to resilience. And not only that, we were able to just continue to just talk about other things. And throughout our conversation, because I've been through my own personal journey, I was able to freely open up and talk about some of my own personal struggles and my own personal, moments where I realized, through some pivotal moments in my own life where I was like, it's time to go within. It's time to go in and heal Tiffany and find out, why does Tiffany lack identity? Why does Tiffany lack self-love? Why does Tiffany lack, the ability to feel like she can stand on her own 2 feet? And again, being able to share that vulnerability didn't give me a sense of feeling unsafe, because you can share that with another person who is doing the work and you feel like you're able to hold space for your stories, but also you're not trauma bonding because you've done the work. So it's not like we're not wallowing, we're not still in the throes of the emotion of those situations and circumstance, but we can talk about how being on the other side of it has grown us, and talk about now what we're doing now, how it's pushed us forward in life now, and how it's made us better people now. And we also talked about, being able to, it's when you are encountering people who are still not yet at a place of, I want to say, recovery. I want to use that. I find myself wanting to use the word recovery right now. Emotionally, mentally, physically, then they're stuck. They can find themselves stuck or with their head in the sand. And when you're in that place, it may not feel, you don't even notice that your head is in the sand until you're out of it, until you take action to move out of it. And maybe it just feels like maybe stagnation, because I remember back in the day, it did feel like maybe I knew something needed to change. I just felt like maybe there was some things that I needed to do that I didn't, I didn't necessarily like about myself, my situation. So I wanted to change my circumstances. So I took action to change my circumstances. So I sought out help to change my circumstances. But as I got into the thick of it, I realized that there was a lot more to unpack. It was an onion. There was a lot more layers. And so as you begin to peel away those layers, you realize, oh, wow, I've been asleep. And so I really appreciated being able to just converse with this person very openly, because just them, I just noticed how much they radiated, how radiant and like magnetic they were, because of how clearly they were able to articulate like their growth process. And I'm not totally sure where they are on their faith journey. I know that they had mentioned something about, a creator, I think, or something like that. Um, so I'm not sure where they are, but, you know, I can imagine that's how God sees us when we start to let go of the things of this world, when he starts to clean us up, when he starts to make us whole, when he starts to renew us. That's what I'm looking for. He starts to renew us, because at that point, his his he cleans us up, he gives us a new heart, and that the light of Christ can shine through us. And it really should be an inspiration. And his story, his journey was very inspirational, in that, like, this person did not allow what could have really and understandably be something that could have, like, kept him down, or they didn't do that. And so I just think about how that relates to what God does for us. Just renewing us, making us new, completely and utterly unrecognizable to what we used to be. And I know, to the world, especially when they are used to a version of yourself that once was, the concept of being renewed, of changing, of doing a 180, of being forgiven of your sins, so you can then go forth and move in the world like, I don't want to say that nothing happened, but that you have a clean slate. It's like, well, who says that? Well, my Lord Jesus Christ. And so that can be a bit to grasp for people who don't understand what redemption really is. And so it's again, just really an encouragement about taking note and of where you are, because there is, and I think I feel like I said this on every video, but there is so much life to live, and there is a lot of life wasted on choosing to stay in a place where the enemy can keep running rickshot or whatever the saying is in your life. He can keep you at a low place. I got friends in low places, because misery loves company. And as long as you're down, then you'll have all the friends in the world. But when you start to do the work, when you start to elevate out of a place of misery, out of a place of darkness, out of a place of um, discontentment, then not only will the outside world change, but a lot of your relationships will change as well. And I think some of us could do with an audit there as well, because some people want you exactly where you are. They like that version of you. That version of you serves them very well, because it may not be that they're directly doing anything to you, but as long as they are not as bad as you, they're good. You're just the threshold. You're the threshold. You're the measuring stick. So as long as they don't get as bad as you, they're good. They can keep doing, acting, behaving however they want, because they know that as long as so-and-so keeps walling out, their life's a mess, then I can sit pretty and act as though my life isn't in turmoil. But you'll be surprised that once you're no longer the measuring stick, you'll start to see that what substance was there really? Because you are so much more than just the measuring stick. And you deserve to have people in your life that will elevate you, that will lift you up, that will encourage you, that will allow you to be exactly who you are, and not constantly reminding you of the past. Because some people live for the drama. Some people live for the tumultuous. They need the salacious, tumultuous, messy, grimy, dirty details of life to live. Not realizing that being a part of that starts to seep in every aspect of life. And so I don't want to get off on a tangent too much. It's just, I really notice that this person just, is glow the right word? You glow. They had a peace about them. And when you are in a place of peace, that's very valuable, to be around other people who bring on a sense of peace, a sense of calm. Because if you're in a place of peace, you absolutely have no desire to be in a chaotic environment. It is instant. No bueno. No, thank you. Don't want it. And so being able to come across a person who very much seems like they've been through a lot, but also have been able to rise and learn a lot of valuable life lessons and develop some fantastic skills and characteristics and traits that really can benefit mankind, because this person has these skill sets, will benefit everyone around them. That is truly incredible. And so I just want to say, my name is Tiffany, and on this channel, we are learning to lead ourselves well so we can serve others better. This is a faith-based based. I feel like I mess that up every time. This is a faith-based channel, but I do talk about universal leadership concepts. So I feel like you might get a little, but you might get a little bit of everything. So you might get a little bit of edification. You might get a little bit of encouragement. So hopefully you are enjoying the videos. If you have not checked out any of my previous videos, please feel free to do so and join us on this journey. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. I'd love to know where you're from, especially if you're joining the YouTube channel for the first time. Glad to have you, and we'll talk soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.